Pulkit and I will be having a discussion today about the discovery process that solutions architects have to go through while they're going through their sales cycle. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Exponent Solutions Architect video. My name is Mohammed Hussein. I'm a solutions architect at Dropbox and was formerly at Salesforce. Today I'm joined here with Pulkit, and I'll let Pulkit go ahead and introduce himself.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Pulkit Mathur. I'm a senior solutions architect at Salesforce. I'm from New Delhi, from India, but I've been living in Amsterdam for about 7 years and very happy to be here to share something.
Awesome. So Pulkit and I will be having a discussion today about the discovery process that solutions architects have to go through while they're going through their sales cycle. And not only is this something that you have to do on the job, but even when you're going through the interview process, a lot of the times during the interview process, your interviewer might even ask you to do discovery on the spot about XYZ. So I'll just go ahead and jump straight into things. Pulkit, for discovery, why even focus on discovery? What is so important about doing discovery?
So before we begin, I need to just say that I'm a Salesforce employee, and whatever I say during this call is strictly my personal opinion and not Salesforce in any way. So discovery is basically one of the most important steps in any sales process, especially enterprise sales. The reason discovery is so important is to, first of all, evaluate the product fit with the actual problem that the organization might have. So ensuring what you're trying to sell aligns with what your prospect is trying to buy. That is one of the most important things. Secondly, I would say discovery is a really good chance to get more information about the client, right? So which kind of cloud the client uses, what kind of problems are important for the client, GDPR, security, et cetera, et cetera. So with all the information combined from the security, you can make a really good case for your product to be used within the constraints of the IT landscape of a particular organization.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that statement. The next question that I have here is, what do you usually do as an SA before you jump on a discovery call?
Right. So typically, the account executive, who I'm going to refer as an AE henceforth, typically the AE has had a few calls already with the client, typically with the business stakeholders, right? So you already have quite a fair idea of what the client is looking for. But it is really important to get also more information about the company. So for example, what vertical the company works for, right? So if they are a financial company or a bank, they most probably have data related regulations. That means, they can store only a certain type of data in the cloud, or regulations around GDPR, for example. You can also think about what other customers you have in the same vertical. So continuing the previous example, you can see which customers in banking have you implemented your solution at, and what problems did you solve for them? Because testimonials are one of the best ways to sell a product, of course. Sometimes we see that our prospects also want to talk to some of our existing customers in the same vertical, and that conversation can be really important in helping them, convince that, hey, we are buying a good thing.
Absolutely.
Right. Thirdly, I would just like to add that you can also look at, the general news. For example, if a client has had a security breach, for example, recently, and if they are evaluating your product, suddenly security is the number one priority in their eyes. So you can focus more on security and, ensuring that your product really tries to meet the needs.
Yeah, 100%. I think those are really good points. Researching not only who your business stakeholders are, but also seeing what the company does, any news around them, verticals. And I really liked how you also elaborated on kind of looking at customers who are also kind of in that same space and what solutions you offer to them. I think that it's always good to know also who's on the call, like you said, knowing your business stakeholders. Don't be afraid to anyone who's out there and is interested in the SA role. Don't be afraid to look people up on LinkedIn before a call. If anything, that shows that you're actually interested and engaged. When they see that notification on their LinkedIn profile and they see that, oh, someone from Salesforce or someone from Dropbox or AWS is looking at my profile and I know I have a call with them, that way they know that maybe they don't have to explain a whole lot about what they have to do. right? So it's always good to definitely get that context before going into the call about who your stakeholders are and what that company does. Another thing that I actually use, and I actually learned this when I was at Salesforce, there's a website called builtwith.com, and that actually shows you, based off of the website, some of the tools that they may be using internally, right? So you can have an insight if they're a Microsoft shop, a Google shop, if they have some sort of AWS presence. So there's a lot of great tools and resources that you can utilize before jumping onto a discovery call too. But yeah, that's just some of the things that I would do personally before jumping on a disco call. Yeah, another thing is a lot of people call it disco calls, but yeah. Next question that I have here is what would you say is important to focus on during the discovery call?
Right. So I do see quite a lot of essays jump straight into the technical details, when they start a discovery call. But oftentimes it can be more important to focus on the strategic side of things. For example, let's take an example. Let's say that I'm selling a data management product like Databricks, and a company, which is an e-commerce company, is kind of evaluating whether Databricks is going to be a good fit. So some of the things that are really important to get clear strategically are, for example, what is happening internally within the company, right? So is the company evaluating Databricks because there is a company-wide strategic digital transformation sort of thing going on, and they have a big budget for it, and that's why they are looking at buying Databricks? Or is it just a manager in a single team with an access of, let's say, 1 million USD who just wants to implement Databricks in his or her team? So I think attaching your product to a wider digital initiative, it really improves the chances of success in an enterprise environment. I think that's very important. Secondly, I would say you have to look at why the product is needed on a strategic level. For example, the company might be big right now, but it might be struggling and losing market share because they are not effectively able to derive any insights from the data that they have. So, and you might even be able to put a dollar value to the kind of loss they have right now. For example, let's say that due to not deriving sufficient business insights, the company is losing $100 million per year, and that's quite a huge amount. And then compared to the price of Databricks, the price of Databricks really pales in comparison to what the company is losing by not implementing Databricks. And this is what typically we call value selling. So this is really important to do. I think third, it is really important to ask, why is the sudden interest in Databricks? For example, is another division within the company already using it? If yes, it can be really good because you can ride on the success of your product in another part of the company, for example. So I think these are some of the things that I would ideally ask on the strategic side of things.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I like your statement that a lot of the times, a lot of essays will just kind of jump straight in towards the technical details, but understanding the strategy as a whole can also help too, because it can provide you a lot more context and honestly areas for upsell as well, and to help solve those customer problems and whatnot. Because I think a lot of the times we forget that although we are technical, we're also there to add value and also sellers at the end of the day as well. Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah, we are sellers at the end, no matter if we are technical or not. And our primary goal is to make the sale, right? And to make a sale, I think it is really important to look at the strategic side of things as well, not just technical. So completely agreed.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and then for my last question here is, how would you approach next steps once you're at the end of the discovery call? You've done the discovery call, you've got everything that you need. How do you set up for, if it's another deeper discovery call, or maybe it's a demo that you have to do? What approach do you take there?
Right. So about the next steps after the discovery call. So ideally what happens is that while you're doing the discovery call, you're talking to, for example, a director of IT or head of IT, or, someone like that. They do know things on a high level about what is happening within the IT division of a particular organization, but they do not know the details, of course. That cannot be expected of them. So ideally, the next steps are typically doing a deeper discovery. If it is an enterprise, let's say, landscape. So, for example, you might request a call with the lead solutions architect of the company to understand a little bit more about, what kind of products do they use, what kind of cloud do they use, what kind of security problems do they have, like GDPR, for example. So that's something I would do. But it also depends on company to company. So, for example, if you're talking to a small company, for example, an SMB, which is small and medium business, typically the sales cycles are not that long. So, for example, an SMB might be using your particular product's free version for a long time, and they are really convinced. And all they want to talk about is pricing, right? So after doing the discovery call, maybe they don't need a demo, but you can go directly to sizing and pricing. So it depends on the context, but in enterprise environments, typically it is required to do a deeper discovery call. And I think the second part, which we should typically deep dive into, is the technical part of things, right? So, for example, what cloud are they using? AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP. What is their IT landscape? For example, are they using any competing tools like Snowflake or AWS's, data management? So I think this is, and one frequent mistake that I see solutions architects make here is to present an approach that says, hey, whatever you are using, it's crap, rip it out and replace it with us. That's never going to happen, right? So typically you would want to make your solution work with their existing IT landscape and then slowly try to expand, rather than saying, hey, whatever you are doing is not good. Our product is much better, and this is what you should use. So this is also what I typically see.
Yeah. And my personal experience has been in SMB. I'm now delving into more mid-market and enterprise, and 100%. It's always with the SMB. They've done their product research and all of that sort of stuff, and they just want to know about the technical features. That's why you're on the call. And then at the end of the call, they're either like, okay, I want to buy, or maybe they want a demo, but most of the time they're just like, yeah, I'm ready to buy it. But yeah, with the more mid-market and enterprise level customers, you might need to do another discovery or, go into a demo. Very, very rarely do you find them saying that, yep, okay, I'll here's my card, charge it right now, give me the product. So awesome. That's it for me. In terms of the questions that I have. Thank you so much, Pulkit, for sharing your wisdom and your experience as an SA, going through these discovery calls. I personally actually have learned a lot just from our conversation today. But if you all at home enjoyed watching this discussion that Pulkit and I had about discovery calls and want to learn more about solutions architects, you can definitely learn more through the Solutions Architect course on Exponent's website, as well as some of the videos that we have on the YouTube channel as well. With that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with anyone who you think would value from this. And yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below to let us know that this video is valuable for you. And of course, check out hundreds more videos just like this at tryexponent.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your upcoming interview.